Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into fascinating subjects to extract those surprising nuggets of knowledge that help you navigate the world.
Glad to be diving in.
Today, we're unlocking the secrets of power dynamics, and not just in history books. We often picture royal courts as these relics, right? Powdered wigs, strict etiquette.
Absolutely. Things of the past.
But the fundamental human stuff, the
Yeah.
nature that shaped those intricate power plays, that's still very much alive and kicking in our modern world.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we're drawing from a really provocative source, the 48 Laws of Power.
Oh yeah, that one definitely sparks conversation.
It does. And specifically, we're looking at Law 24, Play the Perfect Courtier. This material, it blends rich historical stories with philosophical bits and some incredibly practical, sometimes honestly kind of chilling advice.
Okay, so our mission today is pretty clear then. We want to unpack what it really meant to be a courtier back then in those historical settings. And, maybe more importantly, pull out those surprising insights on how these seemingly ancient laws still apply to the courts we navigate every single day.
Yeah, like your workplace.
Your social circles, even family dynamics sometimes. The parallels are, well, they're everywhere once you start looking.
You really can't unsee them.
Yeah.
So, to get this, to understand the courtier, we first have to understand the foundation of power they were operating in. A court society, it naturally forms itself around power.
Right, historically centered on a ruler, a king, a queen.
Exactly. And its functions were surprisingly practical. It wasn't just about pomp. It was about amusing the ruler, sure, but also solidifying the hierarchy, royalty, nobility, all that.
And keeping those powerful nobles close,
Right.
right? Where the ruler could watch them.
Crucially, yes.
Yeah.
Keep your friends close
Right.
and your potential rivals closer, maybe. The whole structure, its main purpose was to glorify the ruler. It created this elaborate little world where everyone was just struggling to please the person at the top.
And it sounds like a seriously high-stakes game.
Oh, incredibly so.
The accounts we looked at really highlight how perilous it was. There's that wild report you mentioned from the 19th century traveler.
And the Arab traveler to the court of Darfur, it's amazing. If the Sultan got injured,
The courtiers had to injure themselves the same way.
yeah. Or if he fell off his horse, they all had to tumble off too.
Wow. So this mimicry was like a survival strategy.
Widespread.
Mhm.
But the ultimate danger, obviously, was displeasing the ruler. One wrong move, one little perceived slight,
And you could be out, or worse.
death or exile. That was often the reality.
So it really was a tightrope walk.
Absolutely. A successful courtier had to please, but, not too much. You couldn't seem like a total suck-up.
No fawning.
And you had to obey, yet somehow distinguish yourself, make your mark.
Yeah.
But without ever making the ruler feel insecure or, heaven forbid, outshone.
That balance, it sounds incredibly difficult to
It
maintain.
was everything.
And the really great courtiers, the ones who nailed it throughout history, they weren't just good at flattery, were they?
Not at all.
Yeah.
They mastered this subtle science of manipulating people. They knew exactly how to make the king feel, well, more kingly.
Ah, interesting.
And at the same time, they made everyone else around them fear their power, the courtier's power.
So they were playing both sides, in a way.
The book calls them magicians of appearance and magnets of pleasure. They knew how to please without humiliating themselves. It's an art.
And what's really fascinating is how these courtiers, the really good ones, often became the ruler's favorites.
Yes, they accumulated so much influence. Sometimes, as the material points out, they became more powerful than the ruler themselves.
Wow. Their skill in managing perception actually trumped formal authority.
In many cases, yes.
It's so easy today, though, to just dismiss all this court stuff as, a historical curiosity. We think we've moved past it.
Right. We think we're more evolved now. But Machiavelli, way back then, he saw this tendency. He observed how people mistakenly think heaven, the sun, the elements, and man had changed.
But have they really, fundamentally?
That's the core question, isn't it? The royal court, with a literal king on a throne, that might have mostly disappeared. But courts and courtiers, they absolutely still exist.
Because power still exists.
Exactly. The laws governing court politics, they're as timeless as the laws of power itself. So what we can learn from those old courtiers, it's incredibly relevant for navigating our modern world. Workplaces, social hierarchies, even community groups.
Okay, so given this really subtle, high-stakes environment, what were the actual rules? How did you play this game? Let's dive into some specific laws of court politics, starting with managing your own persona, your presence.
Right.
First one, Avoid ostentation. Basically, don't brag. Prattling on about your achievements just stirs up suspicion and, importantly, envy.
Modesty is almost always the better play.
Yeah.
There's that fable by Ivan Krylov.
Oh yeah, Barbos and Juju, the dogs.
Exactly. Barmos is the hard-working yard dog, totally worn out. Juju is the pampered lapdog who does nothing but walk upon her hind legs for the master.
And Juju lives the good life, making Barbos feel useless.
It shows how different approaches get very different results in a court. Think about the office today.
Right. The person who CCs everyone on every minor win versus the one whose quiet competence just gets noticed by the boss.
Who builds more goodwill? It's usually the latter. Another key law here: practice nonchalance.
Make it look easy.
Exactly. Your talent, your hard work, it has to appear natural, effortless, like you're just a genius, not someone slaving away. People prefer not to see the blood and toil.
Yeah, they want the magic, not the mechanics behind the trick.
Yeah.
So, in the office, you want people impressed by your grace, not thinking about how much overtime you pulled.
Precisely.
But here's a tricky bit, a paradox. Avoid ostentation, fine.
Yeah.
But you still need to arrange to be noticed.
Ah, yes. The balancing act again.
In that swamp of courtiers or, a busy department today, you can't get ahead if the key people don't even know who you are.
So it requires art. It often starts with just physical appearance. Not being flashy, but having a subtly distinctive style. Something that makes you stand out just enough.
Without screaming, look.
Exactly. And critically, you need to be self-observant. The book talks about using a mirror, metaphorically speaking.
Look at your own actions.
Yes. Train your mind to see yourself as others likely see you. Do you seem too eager, desperate for attention? Maybe like your best days are behind you.
Oof. That's tough self-assessment.
But crucial. Self-awareness helps you avoid those blunders that can really tank your reputation.
Okay, this next one really hits home for me. Master your emotions.
A big one.
Like an actor, it says, learn to cry and laugh on command when it helps you. You need to be able to hide anger, frustration.
And convincingly fake contentment or agreement when necessary. Jean de la Bruyere had that amazing quote.
Remind me.
A man who knows the court is master of his gestures, of his eyes, and of his face. He is profound, impenetrable. He dissimulates bad offices, smiles at his enemies, controls his irritation, disguises his passions, belies his heart, speaks and acts against his feelings.
Wow, that's intense. Profound and impenetrable.
It's basically a masterclass in emotional intelligence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not necessarily about being fake, but about understanding that your raw, unfiltered emotions can be used against you.
Yeah. Think about that next tense team meeting, right? Who comes out looking better? The person who loses their cool or the one who stays calm, composed, and subtly steers the conversation?
Almost always the latter.
Fascinating. Okay, so you've got your own appearance and emotions somewhat under control. Now, the really big challenge, dealing with superiors. Your master, whether that's a king or your boss or a key client.
The relationship above you. Crucial.
And the first law here, be frugal with flattery.
Right. Don't overdo it.
Too much just loses its value, makes you look insincere, and can even make your peers suspicious or resentful.
The key is indirect flattery. Find ways to make the master look good without laying it on thick, like subtly downplaying your own role to highlight their vision or leadership.
Ah, I see. So in a project presentation today, instead of saying, boss, you're brilliant, you might say.
This success really flows from the clear direction you set at the beginning. It makes them look good, feels more genuine.
Nice. Okay, another rule that feels a bit countercultural today. Never affect friendliness and intimacy with your master.
Yeah, this one can seem odd.
They want a subordinate, the book argues, not a buddy. So unless they initiate that more familiar tone...
You maintain a clear professional distance. Don't try to be their pal.
That's tough because modern workplaces often push for approachability, breaking down hierarchies.
True, but these historical lessons suggest that blurring that line yourself can actually weaken your position. It's their call to make things familiar, not yours.
Okay. And speaking of potentially awkward interactions, what about criticism, giving difficult feedback upwards?
Oh, this is a minefield.
Yeah.
The rule is basically never criticize those above you directly.
Never, even if they're wrong.
Even when advice is needed, it has to be incredibly indirect, polite, almost invisible. Think about those Chinese courtiers in the Han Dynasty.
Right, with the unusual events.
Exactly. They'd record things like, two-headed sheep or geese flying backward in the official histories.
As a way to signal that something was wrong.
Precisely. It was their way of indirectly warning the emperor that his actions might be messing things up, throwing the universe out of balance. The courtier could sort of disappear behind the warning.
That is brilliant. So instead of your policy is bad, it's Your Majesty, the geese are flying backward. Maybe reflect on recent decisions.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It deflated direct confrontation.
Genius. And on a similar note, never be the bearer of bad news.
Oh, yes, the classic shoot the messenger scenario.
The adage holds. You have to strategize, maneuver, do whatever it takes to make sure that unpleasant task falls on someone else.
Yeah.
A colleague, perhaps.
Bring only good news yourself. Be associated with positivity. It brightens the master's perception of you.
Makes sense. And here's a very specific but probably universally true one. Never joke about appearances or taste.
Oh, definitely not. Super sensitive areas, especially with superiors. Beau Brummel learned that the hard way.
The fashion icon, what did he do?
He made fun of the Prince of Wales's weight, called him Big Ben, even supposedly said, "Do ring, Big Ben," when he wanted service.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Instant downfall. Lost everything. Died broke. History is littered with people who made that kind of fatal joke at the expense of someone powerful.
A brutal lesson in reading the room. And the flip side of that coin, be obsequious in matters of taste.
Basically, never question the master's taste, even if you think it's awful.
Like that story about Pope Urban VIII and his poetry.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
The Pope desperately wanted to be known as a great poet, but, well, he wasn't.
So what happened?
An ambassador, Fulvio Testi, was sent. And he didn't just vaguely praise the poems. He commented on specific lines, recited verses from memory. He laid it on thick, but specifically.
And the Pope.
He was so jubilant he seemed to lose his mind. Testi knew exactly how to play the game.
It's not about genuine agreement. It's about making the superior feel validated, understood in their preferences.
Exactly. Think about a client meeting today. They suggest a design change you hate. Do you argue aesthetic theory? Or do you affirm their input while gently guiding them?
Subtle guidance, probably safer. Okay, last one in this section. Rarely ask for favors.
Better to earn them.
So they're given willingly, not grudgingly, the story of Alfonso III of Aragon.
And the servant who kept dreaming of gifts.
Yeah. The first time, Alfonso gave him the horse he dreamt of. The second time, the servant dreamt of gold florins.
And Alfonso just said, "Don't believe in dreams from now on. They lie."
Ha! Message received. It's the master's choice to give. Don't push it.
Don't seem needy or presumptuous.
Okay, so earn your way, don't beg your way. Powerful stuff. Now let's widen the lens a bit. Adapting to circumstances, managing peers, even subordinates.
Right, because it's not just about the person at the very top.
First point, alter your style and language. The material kind of pushes back against this modern idea of treating everyone exactly the same.
It calls that a pseudo-belief in equality. Instead, it says adapting how you communicate based on the person's rank, their culture, their personality. That's not lying, it's an art.
Like Schopenhauer's analogy.
Yeah, politeness is to human nature what warmth is to wax. It makes people more pliable, more receptive.
That's a great way to put it. And you do it naturally, right? You talk differently to your CEO than to the new intern.
Of course. It's about effective communication, speaking their language to connect and, well, get things done.
And another crucial point for dealing with others, do not be the court cynic.
Oh, definitely avoid that trap.
Don't be the person who's always complaining, always criticizing everyone else's work.
That negativity just rubs off on you. It makes you seem bitter and unpleasant. Instead, express admiration for others' good work, even your peers.
And paradoxically, that makes you look better.
Yes, modest admiration for others somehow calls attention back to your own competence and to generosity of spirit. It's a counterintuitive win.
Interesting. Lift others up, rise with them, okay? And stay current. Always be up to date.
Your thinking, your awareness of the times, it has to keep pace. Even if you don't personally love the direction things are going.
But there's a catch, right? Don't be too ahead of the curve.
Exactly. Don't be so forward-thinking that nobody understands you or you seem like a radical. Relevance is key, but standing out too much in this way can be isolating or threatening.
Find that sweet spot. Be current, not alienating.
And generally, aim to be a source of pleasure.
Simple but powerful.
Life's often difficult and unpleasant. If you can be someone who brings charm, good humor, a sense of ease, you become magnetic. People want to be around you.
And even if you're not naturally the life of the party.
We can all work on controlling our more unpleasant qualities. Grumpiness, complaining. Try to obscure those when you need to. Put your best foot forward.
Good advice. And don't forget your equals and subordinates. This is key.
Absolutely. Your fate isn't just in the master's hands. A court or an office, it's a vast stew of resentments, fears, and powerful envy.
Wow, vast stew. That paints a picture.
You have to placate people at all levels. Think of that painter, J.M.W. Turner.
The brilliant landscape artist.
Yeah. He had this painting, Cologne, with a stunning golden sky. Another painter, Sir Thomas Lawrence, had his own painting nearby and complained Turner's brilliance made his look dull.
So what did Turner do?
He took some lampblack and temporarily dulled down his own masterpiece, just for the exhibition.
No way. Why?
To avoid Lawrence's envy and resentment. He knew his colleagues' goodwill mattered too. It showed incredible strategic thinking.
Amazing foresight. And that connects to playing the obliging courtier, even when you don't really have a master in that situation.
Right, like the Winston Churchill story.
With the painting and the sheep.
Yeah. Henry Luce, the American publisher, visited Churchill and saw one of his paintings. Luce casually suggested it needed a sheep.
And Churchill, even though he was, Churchill.
He had the painting shipped back to England, added the sheep, and sent it back to Luce.
Incredible. Why bother?
He proved himself a courtier without peer, recognizing the mutual dependence in the world. It's just unwise to needlessly offend powerful people, even if they seem equal or technically below you. Keep the harmony.
Wow. Okay, let's shift to some specific case studies now. Successes and fatal flaws in applying these principles.
Good idea. These really bring it to life.
First, a fatal flaw, Callisthenes and Alexander the Great.
Right. Callisthenes was tutored by Aristotle himself. Smart guy. He kept seeking his mind, directly criticizing Alexander. Repeatedly.
And Alexander.
Had him put to death. The interpretation in the book is stark. In court, honesty is a fool's game.
Ouch. So don't assume the boss wants your completely unfiltered truth, no matter how right you think you are.
It's a harsh lesson. In today's terms, it's like constantly shooting down your CEO's pet project in public meetings. You might be objectively correct, but you'll likely find yourself out the door.
Okay, on the flip side, exemplary skill. Jules Mansart and King Louis XIV.
The architect of Versailles. Genius move here.
What did he do?
He would deliberately design plans, especially for the gardens, with small, intentional imperfections.
Why?
He'd present them to Louis XIV, knowing the king, who fancied himself knowledgeable, would discover the flaw and suggest the solution.
The solution Mansart wanted all along.
Exactly.
Daddy.
Then Mansart would burst with public praise for the king's masterful insight, his brilliant eye.
Securing his position as royal architect.
Absolutely, it proves the point. The courtier's art is more important than his talent. He managed the king perfectly.
That is brilliant. It's like giving your boss a proposal today with a couple of minor, easily fixable things you know they'll spot.
Right. Let them improve it, feel ownership, and then they'll champion it. Clever.
And talk about juggling multiple masters. Jean-Baptiste Isabey painting the Congress of Vienna.
Oh, fantastic example. He had Talleyrand, the French negotiator, and the Duke of Wellington, the English hero.
Both wanting prime position in the painting, center stage.
Exactly. A diplomatic nightmare waiting to happen. But Isabey's layout was genius.
How did he solve it?
When you entered the room, your eye was immediately drawn to Wellington, making him the clear center of attention. But if you looked at the composition of the painting itself, Talleyrand was positioned in the exact geometric center.
So, both were central in different ways.
Precisely. He pleased both powerful egos without creating friction. Masterful.
That's the ultimate balancing act, like managing competing stakeholders on a big project today. How do you make two crucial departments both feel like the priority?
Isabey found a visual, subtle solution. Amazing.
Okay, here's a really chilling one about the danger of overstepping. Chow, ruler of Han, and the crown keeper.
Yeah, this one is rough.
The ruler falls asleep, it's cold. The crown keeper, just trying to be helpful, sees he has no coat and puts his own coat over the sleeping ruler.
A kind gesture, you'd think.
But when the ruler woke up, he asked who put the coat on him. Found out it was the crown keeper.
And then?
First, he punished the official coat keeper for neglecting his duty. Okay, maybe fair. But then, he had the helpful crown keeper beheaded.
Beheaded for being helpful.
For overstepping his assigned duty. The lesson is brutal. Do what you are assigned to do, and never do more.
Wow. That's stark.
Yeah.
But you can see the modern parallel, right? Stick to your role, respect boundaries and hierarchy.
Yeah. Trying to help out by doing someone else's job, especially someone senior, can be seen as undermining them or grabbing responsibilities that aren't yours, even if your intentions are good.
Tread carefully. Know your place in that sense.
Okay, finally, a more positive one. Leveraging talent to rise. Fra Filippo Lippi.
The Renaissance painter. Incredible story.
He was captured by Moorish pirates, enslaved, basically in chains.
Right, but he had his gift, his talent.
And one day, using just some burnt coal on a white wall, he sketched an incredibly lifelike portrait of his Moorish owner.
The owner was amazed, recognized the unique skill.
And that sketch basically bought his freedom.
Yes, it led to his freedom, then employment in the owner's court, and eventually he made his way safely back to Italy to become a famous painter.
So the interpretation is, use your unique gift, whatever your talent is, as a stepping stone. Display it strategically.
Let it be seen by those who have the power to change your circumstances. Show your value, even when you feel trapped. It can be your key to buy your freedom from enslavement, metaphorically or literally.
What a great story. Okay, and now, a final delicate game. A real warning from history, this one involving Talleyrand again.
Ah, yes, the master courtier nearly slips up. This was with Napoleon.
Right. When they were first getting acquainted, Talleyrand decided to play a kind of elaborate practical joke.
A bit risky, maybe?
Very. He arranged a boar hunt for Napoleon near Paris, but it was just a pig let loose. Then he arranged a rabbit hunt.
Using rabbits bought from a local market and released just before Napoleon arrived.
Exactly. Napoleon was supposedly thrilled, bagging dozens of rabbits.
But someone saw through it.
Yeah, one of Napoleon's sharp-eyed aides figured out the rabbits weren't wild. He saw the trick.
And told Napoleon.
Oh, dear. Napoleon was furious, barely contained his rage. He was mortified at the thought of being laughed at, of looking foolish.
I should imagine.
He ordered Talleyrand never to speak of it again.
So the lesson here is profound, isn't it?
Absolutely. Courtiers are like magicians. They deceptively play with appearances.
It is essential to keep people from seeing your tricks. Talleyrand was a master, but that near miss shows the huge risk.
If you get caught manipulating appearances, you instantly go from being seen as clever and sophisticated
To being a loathsome rogue. The mask slips, and the reaction can be brutal.
So you need utmost attention to covering your tracks, and crucially, never let your master unmask you. Keep the illusion intact.
It's a very delicate game indeed.
So wrapping this all up, what does this deep dive into Play the Perfect Courtier really mean for you, listening right now?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that these laws, these strategies born in old royal courts, they're surprisingly relevant for understanding and maybe navigating power dynamics today.
In any modern court, your office, your industry, social circles.
Exactly. The core insight seems to be that basic human nature, the pursuit of influence, the dynamics of hierarchy, they haven't fundamentally changed all that much.
The stage looks different, but the play feels familiar.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
These subtle strategies for protecting yourself, gaining influence, maybe even advancing your career, they seem just as potent now as they were centuries ago.
Now, it's important to say the source material isn't necessarily saying these behaviors are good or moral.
No, not at all. It presents them more as observations of how power has often worked historically. It's about understanding the game, whether or not you choose to play it or how you choose to play it.
Right. Awareness is power in itself.
Definitely.
So the final thought for you, the listener, how do these historical examples, these laws, shed light on the subtle power plays you see around you?
In your own life at work, maybe in volunteer groups or even sometimes within families.
Yeah. Consider how recognizing these patterns, seeing the courtier dynamics in action, might change how you approach things, how you try to gain influence, or maybe just how you avoid common traps in your daily interactions.
It might just give you a new lens, a different way to see the invisible threads of power that shape our modern world, our modern courts. Something to think about.